my channel, guys. My name is Prit and you're watching the Marketing Nomad Talks. Alright, so this time I'm starting a three-part series where I will be talking about different consumer behaviors and how those changes can affect social media trends of 2020. Today, I'm going to be talking about the rise of video marketing and why your business should hop on to this new wave. Okay, so now let's get on to the first question, and that is, what is video marketing? Very simply put, marketing that involves an engaging video. Now, why is video marketing such an important part of marketing strategy? One of the reasons why video marketing is really taking off is because viewers don't really have to think much when they're looking at your video content. Your consumer doesn't have to be reading few lines and trying to understand what you're trying to do, and it's just a whole lot of math equation that goes on in their head and they're wondering what you're trying to do. It eliminates all of those things, and it kind of ensures that your consumer understands the meaning crystal clear. When your video content is kind of thinking for your consumer, more number of consumers can identify themselves with your brand. Second, it's easier for you to generate emotions or for you to trigger emotions way better than they would if the same viewer was taking a look at your print ad. And as we all know, emotions and brand loyalty kind of go hand in hand together. And that is something that your company should be aiming for, building that brand loyalty. And one of the quickest ways to generate these emotions are your video content. So now you're gonna ask me, Prit, video content, I get it, generates emotions, people have been doing it for a while, but why is it going to be a social media trend of 2020? What's so special about 2020? And for that, I have an answer. So your next set of consumers are your millennials, are your Gen Z. One of the characteristics that bind these two segments are the decreasing attention span of these two segments. I'm definitely guilty, guys. Complete millennial. Do you think marketers have a sense of humor as a byproduct of dealing with the trauma of changing consumer behavior? What am I gonna have for lunch today? If your attention span is exactly like mine, put this emoticon in the comment section below. Now, fortunately or unfortunately for us marketers, we have to combat with this new trend that's coming up. As a marketer, this is something that I truly believe in. Change in consumer behavior is imminent. It is going to happen. But what we can do as marketers is find new ways and new tactics to overcome these consumer behavior changes. According to this research by HubSpot, over 50% of consumers wanted to see video content from their brands. What this research tells all of us is that with video content, you are naturally going to expect a higher response rate just because it is what your consumers are asking for. Now, I'm going to share different ideas that you can use to incorporate as your video content for your social media pages. Now, to understand what kind of video content that your consumers are looking for, let's go back to understanding why this consumer trend is coming about. Like I told you, it was the decreasing attention span of the new target market. Now, because of this decreasing attention span, you would ideally want to keep your video content within a minute. And that gets me to my next tip, Instagram and Facebook stories. Now, each post that you do put on Instagram story is about 13 seconds long. So that would be something to keep in mind, leveraging these stories to communicate your point of view. Instead of clicking a picture of your brochure, maybe take a boomerang of your brochure flipping with some words on it. Try to convert pictures into video content. And not just Instagram stories, you have IGTV on Instagram that you can leverage. IGTV allows you to put up videos from 1 minute to about 60 minutes. And this is something that has taken off in 2019 as well, which is why I don't think I will go too much into depth. However, the next suggestion that I do have for you is something that is on the rise and something that actually took off only towards the end of 2019. I believe that this trend is going to kick off in a huge way for 2020, and that is live streaming. Now, until now, live streaming was more for influencers. However, businesses are now leveraging live streaming as a way to connect better with their consumers. Now, for those of you who don't know what live streaming is, it's basically a feature that is available on Facebook, it is available on Instagram, and now it is available on LinkedIn as well, where you can decide to shoot video content and anything that you're shooting is absolutely live. Your consumers are notified immediately. They come online, they come to see what you're shooting, and they can give you comments live. So that's a really good way to kind of engage with your consumers because it's happening in real time, and your consumers are naturally a little bit fascinated with the whole live streaming aspect of things. And that curiosity is something that you need to leverage because that is what pulls them and makes them come online to take a look at what you are presenting live. Now, what are some of the ideas that you can incorporate for live streaming? Now, one way would be to go live when you are at events. That way, once the event is over and your live recording becomes a video on your Instagram or Facebook page, what you can do after that is tag the people who were there at the event, and that is how you kind of build your audience. Another idea for live streaming would be if you are unveiling a product or a service. Go live, tell people about it. Another idea would be to have live webinars where an expert on your team could talk about some of the things that consumers would like to hear. You can even start a live how-to series. There are a few things that you do have to keep in mind just so that you can maximize this new tactic of your marketing strategy. And that is, you have to research before going live. You can do this in a number of ways. Take a poll, ask them. There's no point in putting up content at 11 a.m. in the morning when your consumers are usually hanging around Instagram or hanging around LinkedIn at about 4 p.m. Now, one of the ways that has worked for me in trying to identify what time my consumers come online would be to post content at different times of the day. Now, for me, the best times, because my audience is both in US and India, it's usually around 6 p.m. in the evening. Every time I have posted at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., I've had a huge number of views within the hour. So try out different times where your consumers would be more engaging and stick to that time. Of course, on Instagram, you definitely do have Instagram Insights. Instagram Insights, and I'm going to put it right over here, tells you when are the time slots that your consumers are most active. Now, my second suggestion would be to ask your consumers what type of content would they be willing to watch. You can either ask them or you can put different kinds of content and try to gauge their reaction to each of these content. And this is something that I constantly do, whether it is for another company or my own personal brand or my own personal uploads. I am constantly watching for my consumers' reaction. And my last suggestion for your live streaming would be to heavily market your live stream. Most of the time, your consumers would be unaware that you are putting up something live. So if there is a live webinar that you're doing the previous week, every other day, maybe in your Instagram story, tell people, look, we're gonna be live at this time on this day, be there. That sort of gives a heads up, and it also gives you an opportunity to kind of explain your agenda for your live stream. Once your consumers kind of understand what you are going to be presenting in your live stream, it just makes it that much easier for you to grab their attention when you finally do go live. Alright guys, so we have come to the end of my video for today. So next week on part 2 of my series, we're going to be talking about the rise of social media ads and what you can do to make your ads stand right out. If you liked any of my suggestions, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video. So there's a small bell over there. Yes, this is how I depict my bell. There's a small bell right over there that you have to click, and that tells you every time I do upload a video. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you who are new, my name is Prit. I'm a marketer. I'm intensely passionate about marketing. Every Tuesdays, I upload videos on various marketing topics. If you are a business owner or an entrepreneur, or you're just someone who's curious about marketing, my channel has totally got you covered. Alright guys, this is me signing off. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye!